an awful life for 3 years. Any day jobs? Any Macy's spraying?
Oh, no. I was doing okay in commercials, and I'd waitress a little in the neighborhood, but the great job I had was I taught test prep for the Princeton Review.
Oh, smart man.
Which I had started doing in Dallas, and so, but then it got kind of like, I'd worked for them so long, I started teaching tests that I had no right to teach.
Biology achievement.
Well, I'm teaching the GMAT for business school, or, I was like, I just teach the English portion, and, but yeah, I taught all those test prep things, and I had this little junker car, so they'd send me to like Coney Island and to tutor kids and stuff, and
Where would you park your car?
in Coney Island, there's plenty.
No, like in New York, where would you park it?
I lived in Brooklyn, so I just was
that's
it was
true.
that headachy life of like you're getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to move the car to the other side of the street.
Yeah.
It was all that,
Just do it. So you taught SAT prep?
Yeah.
Oh my god, how come you're so good at it? Smarty pants?
I just read a lot as a kid. I don't know, I tested fine, and it was more like I got into this. It was a really hard job to get in New York. I remember that because people wanted that job. And there's all kinds of smarty pants walking around, but because I had done it in Dallas and I was trained already, it just transferred well. So that was a lucky
What's
break.
the skill of teaching it? Like I don't understand what the method
Well,
is.
it's knowing the test, and it is knowing vocabulary, but it's knowing. And meanwhile, now the test has changed so much that I would
essay
be
now.
useless. Yeah, but it's just knowing odds and when you're supposed to eliminate an answer and when it's a guess and.
God, I remember taking that course. But
Yeah.
I never had the nerve to teach it. Took Sandy
Yeah.
Kaplan. I went up like 60 points.
That's good.
I still got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this 3 years of sort of crappy job.
Yeah.
And then what was the first big gig? Was it Gilmore? No.
No. Well, the first big thing that happened was, so I was doing commercials and stuff, and I was booked on something to be like a cable spokeslady for Century or some kind of cable that didn't run in New York, so I didn't care. And I wish I could remember the casting person because I don't think I ever saw her after this. I auditioned for News Radio to be the Maura Tierney part. Do you guys know News Radio?
Yeah.
And she said, and I had never gotten the first test deal I ever did get was for the new Mickey Mouse Club, and to be the host. And it was the hardest audition I've ever gone through because they were like, we're like Saturday Night Live, but funnier. And I was like, oh. And literally, the auditions were like improv and characters and like as hard I'm sure as the Saturday Night Live audition, and it got down to like 2 people, and they flew us to Orlando and put us up at like a Disney resort and like did more, and I met Carrie Russell then because Carrie Russell was on the show, as a kid, and so yeah, when that happened, it just for the agents I guess was a little bit of like a breakthrough, like well she can get a test deal for something, you know what I mean?
Who got it, by the way? Gilda Radner.
They went back to the old, they went back to the old hosts.
Yeah.
Oh, because this was the deal. The old hosts had left to go do pilot season, and they didn't get anything, so they came back. That was the story they told us. I don't know if that's true. But so nobody got it. But then the next thing that happened was I got a test deal to be that character on News Radio, and I remember when I auditioned that day, that casting person said, "Now, if you get this, deal, you have to fly to LA. Is there any reason you can't fly to LA?" And you're always taught, like, I don't know who teaches this, but like, if they ask you if you can roller skate, just say yes.
Oh, yes, exactly.
I was like, I know full well I can't fly to LA, but I've never tested for anything my whole life, and so I was just like, and then I got the test deal, and I couldn't go, because I was booked on this commercial, and I couldn't back out. It was like a 7-day shoot.
But your agent should have known that you couldn't have auditioned.
Yeah, but nobody thought I was really gonna get it, nobody really thought. Well, it's just, you make the casting person look bad, and it was bad, but that was kind of the thing that gave me a little encouragement to go to LA, and so I went to LA, and also it's that New York thing where, all the New York casting people were like, don't go to LA, you'll never get anything, it's the first time, and like, we can do all the same stuff from here, and I'm sure that's true in a lot of cases, but I did get something right away.
Which is what?
The Best Defense, where I was a young, sassy attorney who was always butting heads with the older, experienced attorney, Steve Landisberg from Barney Miller. And Rita Moreno was the judge. And I would try my cases wearing jeans and leather jackets. It was a pilot, but the thing about this also was, nobody tells you anything, like when you're first starting out auditioning, like nobody tells you is it hour, half hour, who's it for, would it help you, I don't know, but I went into it and I read it, I mean of course I worked very hard on it, but it was a show about lawyers, you know, and I thought it was a drama, like a Law and Order, and it's a half-hour sitcom. I didn't know that, and this was actually very helpful because I think I came out of theater school kind of theatrical, and so for me, doing it like I thought I would do it if it was a drama.
Was that hilarious in the broadest?
And so I got it. I got this pilot, the lead in this pilot
Oh
for
my
ABC,
God.
yeah. And then it didn't get picked up, but then I moved to LA.
Wait, that's an amazing gig. So hold on. So you don't have the footage of that still?
No, you could send it to me today. Yeah, I'm sure I have it somewhere. When we come back to film this, I'll bring it along. I'll bring the. We'll do this again, and I'll bring
that's some great
really.
footage.
Yeah, me too. My hair is giant because my real hair, I mean, left to its own devices without modern technology, is like really curly and crazy, and like you know, and it was like. In those days, it's like 96 or 7 or something. Like all they knew to do to it was like put a lot of gel in it.
Right.
So it was like crispy, and so it was like really big and crispy. But I remember Rita Moreno said to me like I'm trying the case at one point, you know, and I think I'm doing a really great job. And she like this is a rehearsal, and she just yells to me, and this was not her line by the way, "Don't whine." And I was like, but she was right. I mean, I was like, can we? You know, I'm sure I was just like doing my thing, and I immediately was just like, anyway, the case as tried, you know, all me. Because I'm like, you know, tough like that. But I can't believe that, and she scared the bejesus out of me. And then later she was really nice and cool, and you know, but.
Wait, I remember Myrna stories I've never told, but I was on the phone with her. She didn't really know, it's not that big of a deal, but I was on the phone with her like a couple months ago interviewing her, and I know her, one of her backup dancers, Robert Tatat. So I'm like chatting with her, and I know so much about theater, you know, because that's all I ever studied. So I'm like, by the way, I know one of your backup dancers, Robert Tatat. She's like, who? And I'm like, Robert Tatat, a dancer, and she's like, I think you're mistaking me for Cheetah Rivera. Literally accused me. I'm like, I know the difference. And it's like, who? I'm like, he's Filipino. She's like, oh, Robert Tatat, of course. It's like, I didn't click. Anyway, literally hauled out the whole, you think I'm Cheetah Rivera. I was like, come on, it's not gonna be on Broadway. Anyway, what was it? Okay, so hold on. So Delicious Leader in a Sitcom, then it clanked, another lesson learned.
Then it clanked, lesson learned, and then I really kind of started working. I mean, from then on, my career went like as if I worked at a bank. Like, in that I got one thing, and then I got a little bigger thing, and then I got something else, and then I got a series for 6 episodes, and then I got canceled. And then it'd be 12 episodes. Like, it was an incredibly logical ladder, like promotions. And I got the first movie I ever auditioned for, and I was like, this is gonna be easy. And you know, that lasted for a while, and then, but my first, it was Night Watch. I had a small part in this movie, this thriller movie, Night Watch. Starring Josh Brolin and Ewan McGregor and Patricia Arquette. And it was Ewan's first movie he'd done after Trainspotting. It was like all these cool kids. I remember Patricia Arquette said to me, so what other movies have you done? And I said, Night Watch, which is our movie we were working on. And she goes, oh, they made Baywatch into a movie? I was like, no. She was just being nice, but I was just like, I don't have any other.
But why did she know she was in a movie called Night Watch?
I think I stumbled.
Okay, so she's just
I don't know. But yeah.
Joke on flat.
But I remember then thinking like, this Josh Brolin is amazing, and so I feel I discovered him. I mean, he was already doing fine, but like,
just see someone more. That's hilarious.
But for years I'd be like, why isn't Josh Brolin getting more stuff? And then boom, he's like wins everything.
So you're living out there. Where were you living in LA?
I had this little apartment on like Orange Street that was great. And do you know Tim Ransom for any reason? There were a couple of people there in that neighborhood. John Slattery, you know, from Mad Men.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just a couple actors then who I still know and who lived in that neighborhood, and who just all sort of like, you know, kept in touch, and or I don't know, just kind of looked out for each other. Like whenever I see those people.